Next up for immediate consideration by Senator Jessica De La Cruz, a Senate resolution congratulating President Donald J. Trump on his inauguration and historic extraordinary victory in the 2024 presidential election.
Thank you, Ms.
Excuse me.
There's an objection.
So there's an objection in accordance with Senate Rule 721. Shall the resolution be considered for immediate consideration? This is
Briefly, just explain
Senator Bell.
procedure.
Not a debatable motion.
What's going on? Procedure.
No, it's not a debatable.
It's not a debatable.
It's not a debatable.
So just lock the
Okay.
machine and get-
Will the clerk please unlock the machine for the purposes of voting?
The question. Voting on.
We are voting on a resolution congratulating Donald J. Trump on his inauguration.
Okay. Thank you. Well, thank you. Please have that read.
Excuse me,
Okay,
we're
if you wanna
voting on the
vote.
objection, I'm sorry.
Okay. So what does a yay mean and what does a nay mean? If you could explain that so that we're voting correctly.
Green means,
No, it's not debatable.
Green means it'll be considered for immediate consideration. Red means that it will not be. It's not debatable. So will the clerk has unlocked the machine. Can you vote green for me? I'm green. Okay.
ask if everyone's voted.
Has everyone voted? Okay.
Try to call me.
Okay. All right.
Everyone's voted. 'Cause she-
Okay, will the clerk please lock the machine? There are 26 in the affirmative, 9 in the negative, so this will be considered today.
President, I would like the resolution read, please.
Will the clerk please read?
President, I understand that not everyone in the chamber may be enthusiastic about the resolution as much as Senator Rogers, Senator Morgan, Senator Panalino, and myself, and maybe some others. But yet, I want to thank those who allowed the resolution, voted in favor to bring it to the floor, and who will vote yes in honoring the tradition of this chamber to congratulate and wish success to an incoming president, as we have recently and previously done. And with that, I move passage.
The resolution's been moved, seconded by Senator Rogers, Morgan, Palino. Is there any discussion at this time? Senator Bell.
Thank you so much. And first, I do just want to clarify for people what that whole maneuver was about. That was a procedural maneuver to ensure that this would be a roll call vote. Anyway, I object to this resolution because we are not in normal times. What's happening at the federal level is not normal. We just saw our state plunged into an apocalyptic fiscal crisis. Illegally, flagrantly illegally. Our federal funding for Medicaid and SNAP were cut off. In all 50 states, the funds were just stopped illegally. Completely flagrant violations of the law. It's plunging us into chaos. For us to vote for a resolution praising Mr. Trump in terms I strenuously disagree with, and we don't need to get into all of the details of the ludicrous things it says, sends a message that Rhode Island would be saying thank you for wrecking us. Thank you for hurting our state government in a deep and painful way, and hurting the people of America the apocalyptic damage that is racing through our country from these insane, illegal executive orders hits at the soul of our country, because we are supposed to be a democracy. And in a democracy, we have laws. The president cannot just supersede the law, ignore every single thing that's written that holds us to being a democratic system. And
Point of order?
under what's going on in our country, we have only one response, and that is to fight for America, fight for our democracy, because America is worth fighting for, and so is our democracy.
Thank you, Senator Bell. Senator Acosta.
Thank you, Madam President. In this chamber, we're often told to represent the interests of our constituents, our neighbors who we were elected to represent. Now I happen to represent a community that is over 2/3 Latino, that is approximately 38% foreign born, many of whom happen to be undocumented. Now, last night, my 5-year-old son came home from school, where he's a kindergartner, with a small little red card that said, "Know your rights," and a whole set of questions about why somebody might ask him and his classmates where they are from and whether or not they belong. The rhetoric and the use of force of immigration enforcement over the last 3 weeks has led to widespread fear. Now, I would like to know who in this chamber wants to sit down with my 5-year-old and his classmates and explain to them how we got to this place, how we allowed ourselves to get to this place. Now, a few months ago, a colleague of mine in this very chamber expressed indignation over the resentment and anger with which I carried myself. But when I was just a few years older than my own son, I had to sit in the car at a gas station watching a man hurl insults at my mother, asking her where she was from and demanding that she go back to where she came from. This does not happen overnight. We will not celebrate the condemnation and the criminalization of our very existence, of the existence of my residents and neighbors. I will not stand for this. I hope that my colleagues don't. And as lines continue to get drawn in the sand, we will see who really is human and who really respects humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Acosta. Senator Coleman.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to speak for just a second as a person who is Jewish and say that in history, when people rise to power who are bent on criminalizing an entire community of people, they are empowered not necessarily by the edicts and by the laws, but by the complicity of those in the community. So I am imploring us not to do what Germany did in the 1930s, which is look at an entire group of people and tell them that they are unworthy of our protection. I will be voting against this, but because of the nature of this resolution, Madam President, I would like to request that this vote is taken on the board rather than as a voice vote.
So ordered. Will the clerk please unlock the machine? There is no further discussion. Has everyone voted? Will the clerk please unlock the machine? Lock the machine. I apologize. There are 14 in the positive, 21 in the negative, and the resolution does not pass.